Good evening, sim racing fans, and let me be the first to welcome you LSRTV's version of Friday Night Lights. On tap this evening is the Roddcar Truck Tour live from beautiful Auto Club Speedway. Live high atop the speedway inside the Inside Sim Racing broadcast booth, I'm Gabriel Wood. Alongside me, Super Speedway driver and driver analyst Josh Ball, and Cisco Scaramuza down in the production truck, bringing the picture you see to you tonight. As the 2016 Roddcar Truck Tour rolls on, it brings us to sunny California, but we're under the lights tonight. And Josh, with a racetrack as fast as this, these drivers are going to love that little bit of extra grip.
Yeah, they are. And it's it's a 2.0 mile track, and most of these guys are flat-footed most of the way around this track. Obviously, you're going to have to do a little bit of braking in turns, but turn one, you can kind of coast it down in there, especially with these trucks going about 185 miles an hour once they get to the end of each straightaway. We got qualifying underway right now. We got a one-lap closed qualifying tonight. Anything over 2 miles is closed qualifying, so no open qualifying. So we'll see how everybody gets going. But top three in practice tonight: Malone, Rittenauer, and Jorgensen doing pretty good so far tonight, sitting atop the board right now.
Yeah, looks like Casey Malone qualifying first. He's on the provisional pole, so we've got like 19 competitors in the field tonight, and 10 of them have taken time. He's clocked in with a provisional pole of a 40.063. That's almost a tenth faster than the next closest person. That's Rodney Wolford in that second spot with a 40.135. You know, Josh, I was running some laps in this LSRTV truck during the pre-race, and it's a pretty easy track to get a hold to, but it's going to be really difficult to keep that consistency throughout the run, because with this amount of drivers, I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of green flag running.
Yeah, and I hope so. Last couple of weeks had a couple bit of caution spells, so hopefully these guys will be able to get it under control this week and get some great green flag racing. A couple of the guys still out there. Got about 2 minutes left now in qualifying. Casey Malone able to back up that practice speed, just like you were talking about there a second ago, Gabe, and he's on the pole right this second. But we still got a couple guys still haven't taken time yet, and a lot of them are the fast guys. So we'll see where they fall, as Rod Flag just put his number 26 truck into second place after practicing fourth, so he got up there and had a good qualifying as well.
Looks like qualifying coming down. 13th driver taking time. It's now 14. So drivers trying to get those last few laps in and get a good starting position for the race. And we're going to get that lineup for you as soon as we're done with the pre-race festivities. The final part of our pre-race show is going to be your national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
That was your national anthem here at Auto Club Speedway. And with that, the lineup is set and qualifying over with. It's going to be Casey Malone on the pole with a 40.063. It's going to be Rod Flag outside pole with a 40.120. Rodney Wolford on the third row inside, second row inside. He's going to clock in with a 40.135, so some close times up front here. Josh, Brandon Chaburko clocks in fourth, and Corey Henry rounds out your top five.
Seth the Merchant starts P6 tonight, right? On his inside will be Mark Jorgensen in row number 3. To his outside, Tony Fenn. Glenn Hedrick starts 9th tonight, and rounding out the top 10, Sean Boundy with a 40.408.
Kelly Dahl in the 13 is going to start in 11th. Raymond Evans in the 83 will start 12th. Ray Rittenauer the second in 13th. Larry Camp in the 33 will start 14th. Final driver to take a qualifying time with a 40.825. Last couple drivers in the field, 15th through 20th, are going to be provisional starters. 71 of Christian Peterson in 15th. Ryan Pillar in 16th. Matt Quick with an 89 is the 17th starter. Jason Altman's in the 18. It says Jay Riot on the scoring pylon, but it's going to be that 51 of Jason Altman's in 18th. Shane McEachin in 19th. And Derek Walker rounds out your field. The 20 car is starting in that 20th position.
Yeah, and most of these guys are Christian's been starting in the back each week and weekend, and he's been able to get up to the front. So I think that's mostly his strategy. A couple of these other guys might try to fuel his fire there. We've had a couple big wrecks at the start of these recently, so maybe those guys just taking a little bit of cautious here, Gabe. But most of the guys up in practice that were pretty fast start up there as well. Most of the guys that were top 5, top 6, all up there just as they practice as well as qualified. So it should be an exciting night, at least to start up front. Everybody should be pretty side by side for the first couple laps.
Track facts on your screen. A 2-mile racetrack. It's kind of a medium banked speedway. It's not quite Daytona. It's not quite a Michigan, but it's definitely not a Martinsville. So you can get some high speeds here. The Cup cars are running close to about 219, 210 as they go into the corners. So it's a fast racetrack. Not gonna. They're about 210 into the corners, but these guys are gonna, not that fast with these engines. They're a little bit tuned down on horsepower, and these trucks create a lot of drag. Those flat front ends. We're gonna get some high speeds anyways. They run around here around 70 miles an hour behind that Ford Mustang pace car, Josh. It's gonna be a good race. All these guys very consistent. Looks like our top 7 is separated by just about 1/10.
Yeah, and Gabe got a little excited there. 219, those Gen 5 Cup cars. He was hoping they were here at California tonight, but they are not. The trucks are getting into the corners about 185 on the front stretch, about 187, 88 on the back. They're definitely going to be going pretty fast for these trucks. A lot of them don't get up to that speed in the on the super speedway. Should be a fun night. Got to do a little bit of braking here though, Gabe. So we'll see how these guys fare as they'll look to do some more super speedway later on.
Yep, gonna run pretty close to full throttle there for the first couple laps. You gotta brake it just a little bit later on in the run. Green flag in the air. Roddcar Truck Tour at Autoclave is underway. Let's see who's gonna get the good start. Looks like Rod Flag on the outside getting a little bit of push from Brandon Chaburko in that 3 truck. In fact, we got one car dropping to the bottom side of the racetrack out of the way of everybody. As you said, they're pretty mindful that there's been some big wrecks at the start of these races, so trying to get out of the way. And look at here, right on cue, big wreck here. One car gets spun around. Looks like about 2 or 3 cars involved. Minor contact for everybody, it looks like.
Yeah, and that really all started with that 88 and the 12. Looks like what happened was the 12 of Corey Henry might have got just a little bit of that apron, got himself loose, and unfortunately the 88 had nowhere to go. A couple guys behind him. Great driving by everybody else. 41 of Ryan Pilon to avoid that, but 2-car incident. The 88's got a little bit of front end damage, and Corey Henry a little bit of back, but luckily most of them got unscathed there.
Oh, it looks like we got one car smoking. Trying to find out who that car is. It looks like Larry Camp in the 33 was running 14th at the time. He's got some damage. Going to try and find out what happened to him. I saw a couple cars get stacked up on the outside, as they were trying to get around. So let's see. Looks like he was running behind the 83. Oh, the 21 car. He's going to jump up to the outside lane is what I'm seeing. That Glenn Hendrick machine. The 21 jumps to the outside. And when he does, the 83 has to check up, and the 33 of Larry Camp ends up having to check up, but he couldn't get slowed down enough, ends up rear-ending that 83. That's going to put an end to his night, at least put him a couple laps down, getting that engine repaired. I think we're not going to see that 33 for the rest of the night. But we've got a caution here. We got about 2 corners of green flag racing. But Josh, as you said, that's pretty been the mainstay for this series. They just kind of get a little excited off the start, and once they get going, they produce some good racing.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be able to do that here shortly. A couple guys looking to jump down to pit road here, maybe fake out a little bit. 88 Mark Jorgensen is going to be the first one down. Sean Boundy, Glenn Hedrick, that was involved in that wreck, is going to come down as well. The 83 Ramon Evans is also involved. A couple guys behind them that just started in the back, they're going to come down as well. A lot of the front guys stayed out though. Still looking at your leader, Casey Malone, followed by Rodney Wofford and Rod Flagg. They were doing pretty well there before that caution came out. The outside was working a tiny bit, but Rod Flagg had dropped back since from the start of the race. He did start second. He had a little issues, and but still third place. Not too bad, Gabe. That outside, this is a multi-groove racetrack as we normally see. We see the Cup cars in real life come here and drive it 5 wide down into turn 1. So there's definitely grooves out there. Just see how long they take to work in, and or if everybody just going to stay on the bottom tonight.
I don't know. I don't think we have enough laps to get it done, at least with the rubber, like kind of laying down some lines, because we've only got 62 laps on tap for tonight, and that's a 2-mile racetrack. So these guys, it's going to take maybe about 15 minutes to get this race done, but that's not going to be enough time, just 62 revolutions around the circuit to get some rubber down on these lines. So it's going to be probably single file down there. Maybe toward the end we'll see some guys moving around trying to get something done, and that's going to be the real race to see, is these guys just trying to experiment, find some stuff that works. And I saw a lot of guys using that outside lane to gain some speed coming off to the line on qualifying and some practice runs. So there's some speed on that outside lane for at least one lap. So let's see what they can do to get it done.
Yeah, I saw a couple guys try the outside lane around each other there in practice before the start of this one, and they were able to get it done out there. It should be interesting to see if new tires, old tires, 2 tires, 4 tires will be a big deal tonight. I'm sure if you don't get any, you're going to be suffering. But really, really don't know at this point. I didn't get out there and get on the track tonight, so it's going to be just interesting to see how everybody handles it. I got a little bit of couple guys came down pit road that time. Seth the Merchant decided to bring his Chevrolet down into pit road, as well as that 28 of Shane McKeechin. They came down for the second time there, so we'll see. They'll get a little bit of probably 4 fresh Goodyears and get out behind a couple of those guys. Jason Altman's unfortunately 2 laps down already. Larry Campsfall 1 lap down. They are both out of the race currently, and hopefully they'll be able to get some repairs done, maybe get back there eventually, but currently they are in their pit stalls getting as much repairs as done as possible.
It looks like the 20th starter in the field did not take the green flag and get on track. He's not going to be scored as a runner, so Matt Quick not on track as of yet, but maybe he'll jump in the server, get maybe a little start and park effort and gain some points. We'll wait to see if that happens. We should get the one to go here, Josh. See if these guys calm down just a little bit. I'm not in this in the broadcast booth for this series a lot. What does it usually look like after a few laps?
Well, that was pretty much what we just saw. A little bit of crashing, but no. After last season, since we went to the fixed setup here in the Roddcar Truck Tour, there's been a lot of groups of packs. So you get a couple of the faster guys running in a group up front, usually around, I don't know, I'd say 4 to 8 cars that are pretty fast. You got a group that's just trying to get around the racetrack and save some tires, save some fuel, maybe sitting about 1 or 2 seconds back. Last week, Sean Boundy was actually able to make that work and pull off his first win here in the Roddcar Truck Tour. He was able to save as much gas as he needed and was able to come home victorious by the fuel strategy. So, and then you'll have that final group behind them that are a little bit slower, not as comfortable in this truck as some of the other guys, so they'll be hanging back a little bit. But a couple of different packs, so we'll see how that all fans out. And you got a couple guys up front that haven't been there last couple weeks. Tony Fenn, good run for him so far tonight, sitting in P5. Kelly Dahl in P6, good run for them. Christian Peterson, just like we said, started 15th, already up to 7th, so he's already already picking off as many people as he is as a current points leader.
Yeah, I think we saw that in qualifying with the top 7 qualifying. Got a couple cars in the 0.0 second bracket, and then we saw some 0.1s, and then there was a huge gap to about 0.3s, the 40.3s. So those guys, a little bit of a gap, and that's going to show here if we get some green flag racing. And Looks like lights are out atop the American Childhood Cancer Organization Ford Mustang pace car. The guys are lined up 2 by 2 for the first restart of the night here on lap number 5, completing it. Lap number 5 going on to lap number 6. Pace car is going to pull to the safety of pit road. There it goes. It's up to Casey Malone to see what he can do on the restart. Flagman holding that green flag in the air. Let's see when he's going to go. Here we go. Green flag. Big shove from that 26 of Rod Flag, trying to get that 92 going. Looks like it's going to happen for him because he's going to be well clear by the time they get to turn number 1.
88 and Mark Jorgensen already looking 3 wide back there under Christian Peterson, trying to force it again. Trying to go 3 wide right behind him, Corey Henry. Starting to single file out a little bit already. That high side pretty much just disintegrated. But we do have a 3 wide battle right now. Jorgensen, Pyland, and Kelly Dahl, they're going to get it situated before they go into turn 3 here. Luckily, that was able to save it. But you look up front, it's still Casey Malone out there leading the way. He's got a good truck length lead right now on Rod Flag. Brandon Chaburko right behind, and Rodney Wofford there in the top 4 so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, longest green flag run of the night here on lap number 7, but it's going to take some time for these guys to get calmed down because they're fighting for positions all that they can. It's like that's that 33 of Brad Rose, or not, I'm thinking of a different series. It is Larry Camp on that 33 down on the bottom side of the racetrack, getting back on, so good to see him getting back out. Should be maybe 4 to 5 laps down. Let's wait and see what he can do. We've got a change for position. Brandon Chaburko going around the 26 of Rod Flag, and he's also going to get overtaken by the 7 of Rodney Wofford. Looks like that 26 pushing up the racetrack just a little. He got stuck on the outside, so outside lane not working so far, and the 78 of Tony Finn is trying to work it around that 26.
Yeah, usually there in 3 and 4, Gabe, if you don't hit your line really well, it really wants to push bad off the corner. So I think that's what Rod unfortunately got there. Brandon got under him. Rod just got out of whack and really just fell back 2 positions. He's got Tony Fenn under him right now, but that outside's pushing really good. He's got a great run down the backstretch. He's going to clear, sit back and forth. Christian Peterson looking to clear as well into the top 5. No, he does not get clear on the outside so far. Right there above Tony Fenn going into turn 3. Interesting to see who gets a runoff. It looks like that outside is definitely where the place to be right now, as Tony Fenn's going to lose 3, 4, possibly 5 positions here going into turn 1.
Almost some contact in the 8 of Mark Jorgensen and that 75 machine, but they end up keeping it straight. That 71, remember, he didn't qualify, Josh, and so did the 41 of Ryan Pillen. So these guys working their way up in just a second. That's Pyland. And that 41 machine, Ryan, looks like him and also Christian Peterson doing a good job working their way through the field. I'm guessing they didn't pit when the other drivers chose to, but it's still working out for him. Christian Peterson now running inside the top 5, and looks like we got Brandon Chaburko running down just a little bit, that 92 of Casey Malone. It was about 4 tenths just a few laps ago. Now it's to 2 tenths. What is that gap at? Goes back to 3 tenths. So a little bit of rubber band effect here. These guys just kind of figure out what their line is. And look, we got a battle for second. Rodney Wofford down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Going to get it done. Coming off of turn number 2, he's going to slide up in front of that 3 machine of Brandon Chaburko. Pass done for position number 2.
Yeah, and I think Brandon might have been pushing his tires a little bit too much there, so he's going to have to drop back, cool them off. I tell you what, so far, Mark Jorgensen Jr. is the fastest of those that came down pit road. He is right on the back bumper to that 71 Christian Peterson, which is right on the back bumper of Rod Flag. He's actually looking low here on the front stretch, and it looks like Rod Flag just shut the door there. But even with all that damage, Mark Jorgensen still able to keep up there with pretty much most of the field, as that damage wasn't so bad, Gabe, but it still affects. We're here at a 2-mile racetrack, so the draft definitely in effect here tonight. So I'm surprised that he's able to stay up there so far, but I guess as long as he's in the draft, he should be okay. But that lead is starting to shrink now as the 7 of Rodney Wofford closes in on the back of Casey Malone and bringing the rest of the guys with him.
Yeah, that number 7 Hype Energy machine is coming, and he's bringing the rest of the field with him because, look, he's brought the 3 of Chaburko with him and throw Rod Flag and Christian Peterson in there as well. Those guys are to the back bumper of each other. That 7, he's going to look for a move here in just a few minutes because he has got the run. He's got the momentum here on lap number 12. Looks like he's going to look a little bit to the outside there, running a little bit higher of a line. Looks like Chaburko's to the back bumper. He's giving him a shove down the back straightaway. Look to see a move from that 7 going into turn number 3. Not going to happen. He's going to take a little bit of a lower line. He's going to run right there on that white line using the maximum amount of racetrack. And look at here, he's catching him just a little bit more here. He's going to have some momentum on the straightaway. 92 comes down, trying to get him down to the bottom side of the racetrack, but it's not going to happen. 7 of Rodney Wofford down to the bottom side. Battle for the lead here on lap number 13.
Yeah, and that draft really seems to be in effect a lot tonight, as he was able to just bring all those guys back up there. But Rodney Wofford is clear right now. Is he going to force the issue? No, he's going to stay down on the bottom side, as Malone's going to get a little bit of runoff there of turn number 2. Rod Flag on the inside as well, losing a couple positions to the 71 and the 88, as Jorgensen may or may not get clear. He is clear right now. See if he drops down. He does. Rodney Wofford still trying to get around that 92 of Casey Malone. Looks like he's going to get it done here on the straightaway, but Braden Chaburko right back in it, looking 3 wide.
Oh, 2 wide there for second. Rodney Wofford leads his first lap of the night, but we're almost 3 wide there going into turn number 1, but it's going to stay calm for the time being. But as I say, that three of Brandon Chaburko down to the bottom side of the racetrack. They're 2 by 2, 2 rows back. Oh, 3 throws a block just a little bit. Christian Peterson down to the inside, 3 wide for second. Going into turn number 3, the 71 backs out of it, does the smart thing. Not the time in the race to do it, and that little, oh gosh, almost contact between the 88 of Jorgensen and the 71 back there. That's going to put the 88 almost into the wall, but he's going to keep it under control. That's going to allow the 26, and who is that? Looks like Seth the Merchant. Yeah, the 32 is Seth the Merchant. I thought he was going to follow the 26 through that hole, but it's not going to happen. He's going to stay on the inside of the racetrack, and this is bringing 4 cars into this fight as they settle that lead out for the first position. The big battle here is for the back half of the top 5.
Yeah, and one of the comments made there, are we at Dago already? A lot of guys going 2 and 3 wide for sure in most of this race so far, and it's looking like Rod Flag's asking, hey, are we already there? I know we're there later, but trying to get it done. Mark Jorgensen, unfortunately, fell there a little bit on that contact with Christian Peterson. That group is starting to drift back a little bit. Everybody been battling, so the gap between 3rd and 4th place now is over 5.5 tenths of a second. So they're definitely losing time in those top 3, Malone and Chaburko. Rodney Wofford still leading. But Malone hasn't really left him. He's staying about a truck length right behind. Draft able to help him, probably able to lift a bit off his entry and able to keep speed up, so probably cooling those tires down a bit. Just want to look further back in the field. We do have a little bit of a gap behind that second pack. Kelly Dahl running in 10th place. A little bit spread out from back behind there. Tony Fenn, Glenn Hedrick, Derek Walker, Ramon Evans. Most of those guys just kind of fanning out, just running their own lines. Maybe saving some fuel like Sean Boundy did last week. So, but we look back up to the front. A little bit of car contact there between the 88 and 26 of Rod Flag. Still running as hard as he can. Mark Jorgensen. Oh, he's going sideways.
Hang on to it.
Oh, wow.
He saved it about 3 times here coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, he did. I don't know how he did it, Gabe, but he was able to wheel it down, but unfortunately he is going to lose a lot of time now on that pack. He's going to drop back right there behind Kelly Dahl, which is sitting about almost 2 seconds behind where he was just a minute ago.
And this is going to set him back, because either he can try and run hard and get back up there to the back of that pack before we have to make a pit stop or a caution, or he can just kind of sit back here and save his tires for the long run. But either way, he's stuck in a bad position, and him getting loose has really settled out that front pack, because now they're all single file there. Looks like back through the top 10. First battle on track. As I look back here, looks like Derek Walker ended up hitting that wall just a little bit in that number 20, running in 13th. No damage, though. We're at the closest battle on track. Looks like everybody's kind of holding station. We got a little battle around the 28 of Shane McEachin and Ramon Evans. They're in the 83, so those guys going side by side here through turn number 4. Oh, looks like the 83 is going to get in the wall.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Ramon Evans gets into the wall there just a tad bit off of turn number 4. He was able to keep it together though. No spin, no caution, which is great. You look back up front, yeah, just like you said, everybody's kind of just hanging out. I tell you what, that bottom of the track there, that apron in turn 1 and 2, really did not want to get on that. We saw Mark Jorgensen already hit it once and almost spin out, and that's exactly the same thing that brought out our first caution. Corey Henry hit the apron there, on the first couple laps and brought out that first caution. So do not get down there. You don't want to get yourself in a pickle or a crash. So it's most of these guys up to the front are holding their own. They're getting really close, but nobody's touching that apron, luckily, or they're going to go around.
Yeah, a little story there on that apron side of the racetrack. My first experience racing really with our very own producer Cisco Scaramuza was in a league running the dash cars, the K&N Pro Series cars, and it seemed just about every lap we saw that he was running the number 85. You see the 85 just spinning down to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's coming over the radio threatening my job. It just goes to show, and he's a good racer. It just goes to show what can happen hitting that apron. It just really starts snowballing there. You just cannot get off that apron, and these guys flirting with it. Not the last time we're going to see it. Not the last time we're going to see that 92 up front. Casey Malone, he's to the back bumper of that 7 of Rodney Wofford. Not going to get the move done there through turn number 3 here on lap number 21. Josh, we've had one caution. We're almost a third of the way through the race. This is looking to be a really good, exciting race.
Yeah, hopefully Gabe will be able to stay with us throughout the rest of the race. Cisco's saying that you're fired after this race, so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, definitely a little bit of battle up here right now. The 71, Christian Peterson, takes that spot away, goes to third.
Traburco
just let off, I think, and let them guys go around it. Obviously, he saw there was a bit faster. So, yeah, Traburco, unlike him, letting those guys go around. I think he had a really bad approach to that corner as well, so that might have been a contributing factor. But yep, so far that 92 really not losing too much on the 7. It seems like he gets right up to the back bumper, then he falls back a little bit, gets back up to the back bumper, falls back. So we'll see. He might just be biding his time. You know, leading the most laps doesn't get you the W. It's that final lap. So we'll see if he's just trying to see how long it takes him to get back to the back bumper. And we got to be thinking about green flag pit stops here shortly, Gabe.
Approaching halfway here at Auto Club, yeah, pit stop's going to be a factor. And it wouldn't be LSRTV without green flag pit stops in the middle of the midway race break rundown, but that's just how we like to roll here. But that 71 Christian Peterson, he's to the back bumper of the 92 of Casey Malone. I think he's going to be making a move here in just a moment, because I think we're going to see another one of those slowdowns from the 92 of Casey Malone, just kind of messing with that 7. He's to the back bumper coming off of turn number 4. Let's see if he can get it done here on the front straightaway. A little bit of momentum there. Looks like he's poking his nose there just a little bit, but the 92 cuts him off. They're going to get on that apron a little bit. He's just flat out pushing him down the front straightaway here. He's to the inside.
To the inside go Christian Peterson, starting back in 15th place. Took no time, 24 laps. Now he's up there sitting in second as he clears Casey Malone to get into the second position, sets his sight on the lead. There's no wonder why he is the points leader right now, doing as much as he can all race and already getting up there to the front. Although his teammate just 2 spots behind him, Seth the Merchant, last time we saw them close on the track was the final lap a couple weeks ago where they took each other out, coming to the checkered flag and allowed Brandon Chaburko to take the win. So I'm sure there's no love lost there, but that 92 pushing that 71 all the way down the front straightaway.
Yep, returning the favor on that 92 of Casey Malone. He's going to return the favor to the 71 of Christian Peterson. That may be helping him just a little bit, but he's got to know if they want to get up there, that's a really good strategy, just kind of pushing just a little bit, using that super speedway draft pack. But make sure you let off before you get to the corner. Give that guy time to run his own line, because you can end up pulling a Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, and just push the guy off into the corner and destroy his line and really just destroy everybody's run.
Yeah, and you know, if it's coming down to the final lap, I'm sure that's definitely a game plan there. But once again, that 92 back on that back bumper of that 71, pushing him all the way down the front stretch. It looks like the 71's just not getting off of turn 4 as well as the other guys, but he is able to drive it around the rest of the track better than anybody. So if he could just figure that out there with the next caution and get some, or if we don't have one in the green flag pit stops, get that fixed or at least change his lineup a little bit, he may be able to take that lead away from the 7 of Rodney Wofford. But looking back, that 26 of Rod Flag and the 12 of Corey Henry starting to close in on these front 5. They've been running their own line, just kind of maybe saving a little bit of tires, looking on that draft a little bit as a 3 of Traburco gets in the wall just a tiny bit off of turn 4, as most of the guys up front still just sitting pretty where they're at, just riding along.
Well, before we hit the halfway point here at Auto Club Speedway, we're going to take one commercial break and bring you back for the rest of the race. It's Rodney Wofford out front in that number 7. Christian Peterson trying to catch him with the rest of the field behind. We'll be right back here on LSRTV from Auto Club.
Welcome back here on LSRTV Live. We're here at the Auto Club Speedway as we're still underway. Rodney Wofford still leads here in front of Christian Peterson, Seth the Merchant, and Casey Malone. Unfortunately, Gabe had to step away as Cisco decided to tell him, you know, if you're going to not stop being nice to me, I'm going to make you stay out of the booth. So, as we're continuing underway, it looks like we're getting ready for pit stops. It should be coming up very shortly as we've been under the green flag here for the last 23 laps. And Gabe, it should be interesting. Probably a lot of these guys did not practice that before during the practice session. So normally we're not here, so it's going to be definitely interesting to see how it comes down.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's good for him, I guess you would have to say Auto Club's a pretty easy track to get on the pit road. You have a slight transition to the banking. You can kind of get slowed up, and you don't really have to get out of the way of the guys running that inside lane, because by the time they get to you, they're already arced up for the exit out of turn number 4. So it's a little bit easier of a pit road entry, especially with these trucks, a lot of downforce in them. So expect to see these guys not a lot of trouble getting on to pit road. As we cross the halfway point here in the Roddcar Truck Tour Auto Club Speedway, it's time for the iRacing Midway Race Break, brought to you by iRacing, the world's premier online racing game with professionally organized racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, and more. It's like out front, just like he's done for the past 20 laps or so. It's going to be Rodney Wofford out front, Seth the Merchant in the 32 in second, Christian Peterson running third, Casey Malone in fourth, and Brandon Chaburko rounds out your top 5.
Rod Flagg, Ryan Pyle, Kelly Dahl, Shane McKeechin, and Derek Walker round out your top 10 currently.
Ramon Evans in the 83 outside the top 10 in 11th, Corey Henry in the 12 running in the 12th position, Glenn Hendrick in the 21 running 13th, Tony Finn in the 14th position, Ray Rittenauer in that 87. We saw him drop back at the beginning of the race. He's running a conservative 15th right now. Last car on the lead lap is going to be Sean Bounty in the 34. Sean's got a fast car. I expect he's saving just a little bit of fuel. The 88 of Mark Jorgensen looks like he's made his pit stop more than likely, so he's one lap down in 17th. A couple of cars out of the race, or at least out of the contention for the win. The 33 of Larry Camp and the 51 of Justin Altmans. And the 89 of Matt Quick did not take the green flag, so looks like he is not going to get any points for the event tonight. Well, this has been your iRacing Midway Race Break. For more information on a wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. You can use the LSRTV promo code by entering capital PR-2016 LSRTV when registering for a new iRacing membership. to get the late model free of charge, along with 13 cars and 14 tracks included with a first-time membership.
Yes, we see a couple of guys now coming down pit road. If you see across your ticker there, we got a couple people one lap down. We saw Rod Flag in, Brandon Chaburko, Casey Malone also in as well. Most of these guys coming down, getting their fuel done, Gabe, and it looks like right now we're running on pretty good pace. Most of these guys, here comes Rodney Wofford, the race leader, Christian Peterson as well, getting it woed up. No issues, but Seth the Merchant now is going to take over the lead, get some crucial bonus points for the lead in that lap. As you see, most of the field has already made their pit stop. 6th through 17th place, currently set one lap down, still out on track. You're going to have Sean Boundy, not Christian Peterson, Shane McKeechin, and Seth the Merchant is going to be our top 3 once they shuffle back around here. But just like you just said, Gabe, Sean Boundy probably out there saving again. See if he can make it happen. He's running quite a bit slower than everybody else, but he is staying out there once again this lap. Seth the Merchant probably going to look to pit road. Nope, he doesn't. He can't. The 3 of Brandon Chaburko to his bottom side, getting his lap back. So hopefully Seth's got enough to get around one more time. If not, that could be a big issue.
Here comes your original leaders down to the bottom side of the racetrack. It looks like the 71 of Christian Peterson's got in front of that 7 of Rodney Wofford, so he's going to move into the lead after the 32 and the rest of the field pits. So this is going to put that 32 and the 28 into a compromising position. Those guys are out front right now because a lot of these guys have short pitted. They're going to lose a lot of time later in the run, or at least when they pit, because these guys are on new tires and just absolutely smoking them.
Yeah, and here comes one of the guys, Sean Boundy. Yep, Sean Boundy coming down, Seth the Merchant coming down. Shane McKeechin, your last one still out there, Gabe, but Ryan Pilen also coming down pit road as well. We got a couple other guys coming as well. Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a big shuffle in the ticker there, so don't think that the person in front is really there right now. They're probably on pit road, but we'll get it all straightened back out here in a second.
Let's see what happens. Maybe Chaburko out front, because at 92 of Casey Maloney's lost a position to the 3 of Brandon Chaburko, and I think Brandon pitted a few laps earlier and got the jump on the rest of the field, maybe except for that 92. I believe they pitted on the same lap, but if they cycle around, it's still going to be Seth the Merchant and Shane McKeechin 1 and 2, but once they cycle around the next time, there goes that 32. Well, no, it's...
Brandon Chaburko is going to be your leader here. Casey Malone's going to sit second once they file out. That ticker is just a little bit behind there for you guys, but Casey Malone's going to be second. Third is going to be Christian Peterson. Rodney Wofford's going to sit fourth, and Rod Flag's going to sit fifth out of those green flag pit stops. Big gap, Gabe. Big Gabe. There's like almost 2-second lead there for Brandon Chaburko on that 71 of Christian Peterson right now. You're going to see that once they come across the line right here, down to a 1.5 seconds. So, you know, they're chasing them down a bit, but like you said, they have been out there a little bit longer than those guys. So we'll see how that works out. But looks like Mark Jorgensen Jr. just had a manual disconnection. Unfortunately for him, running in the 12th position, unfortunately just lost connection. So, but back up to the front. It's a little bit spread out here, Gabe, but most of the guys that were still up there before the green flag stop are still there.
Yeah, a couple of cars, I believe that was the 21 down. Looks like we got a battle for the lead here. That 3 of Brandon Chaburko is letting the 92 go. So change for the lead as they go down the front straightaway. Casey Malone got it that time, so move him into the lead here on lap number 39. Closing in on the finish here at Auto Club Speedway, that 92 back in front again. I told you, that was not the last time. Yep, we're dropping a lot of guys. I think something's going on with the server.
Yeah, it looks like we just had 3 disconnections as I was talking about. Jorgensen lost connection there while racing. Glenn Hedrick as well. Sean Boundy was running around the track there back in 14th position, just lost connection as well. Hopefully, we're not going to have another rain out here on Friday night as we did about a month ago or so now, but unfortunately, looks like most of the other guys so far are still running. We got 13 cars still on the lead lap right now. We're sitting in 13th position right now. But hopefully the servers can hold together here again.
Hopefully it's going to happen. Closing in on the finish, it looks like we got about 22 laps to go when we come by the stripe. This time it'll be 21, I believe, or 22. It's closing in on the finish. We're past halfway, well past halfway here at California Speedway. Brandon Chaburko trying to run down that 92 again to Casey Malone because he got by him. I think he just wanted to get behind him and kind of save some tires just a little bit because that was too easy of a pass for that 92. While these guys are kind of racing single file. At 71 at Christian Peterson, he's using those newer tires just by maybe 2 or 3 laps. He's using them to his advantage because he's pulled away from the 7 of Rodney Wolford and also catching the 3 of Brandon Chaburko and the 92 of Casey Malone.
Yeah, Gabe, they are coming. That 71 and 7 of Rodney Wolford and Christian Peterson are definitely making their presence known as they have cut that gap they have in almost 75% of it down to just under a half a second now as the 3 of Chaburko looks going under Casey Malone. Possibly he can see that 71 getting bigger in his mirror, so he's like, it's go time. I'm going to push you down the front straightaway. We need to get on the gas. Rod Flag also catching on those guys. 0.3 of a second he gained that last lap. So those new tires up front definitely helped them out for a couple laps, Gabe, but now that everybody else is catching up, they're looking like they might be in trouble.
Yeah, because that 71, he's cut it down by another 0.2 that last lap, and maybe even throw the 7 in there because he's coming as well. That was an aggressive entry I just saw there from the 92 of Casey Malone. He just kind of threw it into the corner. I think that's going to bite him off of the exit because look at the 3 of Brandon Chaburko. He's to the back bumper again. Let's see, maybe he's just going to push him again down the front straightaway. They're going to gain that little bit of drafting speed, going to catch a little bit of an advantage over that 71 of Christian Peterson, but I think it's delaying the inevitable because that 71 is coming.
Yeah, and Rod Flag again, 0.3 on that lap. So, getting that draft back there is definitely helping him as well. But like you said, that 92 and 3 of Brandon Chaburko just kind of sitting ducks right now. Teammates, but they're probably talking, saying, hey, let's one of us win this race and not let anybody else do it. But unfortunately, that 71 of Peterson is almost there. He is pretty much there, 2 truck lanes now behind the 3 of Brandon Chaburko. Again, that terrible line off the corner, so Christian is going to close even more down to 1 truck length.
While watching this battle on track, Josh, we've got our 20th entry on racetrack because the 89 of Matt Quick has finally joined, so he's going to get credit for the start here at Auto Club, albeit 41 laps down so far. He's still an entry, and I believe he's already picked up a position on Jason Altman's in the 51 and only turned a few laps. So that he's 41 laps down, but he's got a chance. No, I think he's mathematically eliminated from any other position gain, so he may as well just pull it off track now unless he just wants to run for practice because that's all he's going to pick up here tonight. But still, he's finishing 19th in a race that he really didn't start about 30 minutes ago, so good on him joining the server and getting the credit for the start. Back up front, though, that 3 of Brandon Chaburko, he's fallen back from that 92 of Casey Malone, so at 71, he's going to have a little bit of trouble getting around that 3 of Brandon Chaburko, so let's see what can happen. Look at Rod Flag. He's absolutely just on a tear. He's caught the back bumper of the 7 of Rodney Wolford. He was about 0.3 back just a few minutes ago, Josh, and now he's to the back bumper of that number 7 machine.
I tell you what, Rod Fly, that 26 truck is not to be messed with. He has definitely been up there the last couple weeks. He's had the fastest car a couple times, and he just unfortunately wasn't able to finish it out and get it done. But he is in position tonight, sitting P5 right now. Sitting less than a second behind the leader there of Casey Malone. Took off another 0.5 on that lap. So everybody, those front 5, all within that draft, able to stay right with each other. And it's really going to come down to probably who has the best tires, honestly. But that 71, even though he closed in and pretty quickly on those guys, hasn't been able to get around yet. So, you just got to think, is this one of those racetracks that you're able to close and then not get around? So we'll see here in the next couple laps. He's right on that back bumper of Brandon Chaburko right now. He'll probably look to the inside or outside. Just depend on what lane that Brandon gives them. He's not giving it lightly, as you see the 3 all over the track trying to protect things.
He's going to try the outside. Maybe your Chaburko's going to push him up high. Here comes that 71 using the outside lane for the first time tonight. He's the first person to test those waters. I told you we would get toward the end of the race, and then you'd see some guys trying that line. Looks like he's going to make it work. Wow, that momentum's carrying him on the outside, so the 71 side by side with the 3 of Chaburko. And at 92, you were talking about tires, Josh. he's been about the only one I've seen that can actually hold it down off of turn number 2 and not wash up the racetrack. So he's got some pretty decent tires. I think he's been saving for a few laps.
Yeah, and I wonder if those guys behind them, the 7 and the 26, doing the same. But we will see here shortly. The 3 still able to hold on to that position. That's just... But even though those old tires, I think he really may be trying to hold back those guys for that 92 of Malone. But he only can do so much for so long, as the 71 definitely is faster. Look at the bottom here. Once again, he's going to have a little bit of run under 3 going into turn 3. He sticks it down there. So let's see if he can hold it off the turn as Brandon pinches him as much as he can.
He's a little touch of that apron, but he keeps it under control. Not even so much as a wiggle from the 71 of Casey Malone. He's going to get that inside position. The 3 tried to pinch him down, but it's not going to happen. Running halfway on the apron, halfway on the racetrack. Going to get that position on the number 3 at Chaburko. So move the 71 into second. Now it's going to be a battle for that lead. See if he can catch the 92 of Casey Malone. I think it's going to happen. As I said, it's delaying the inevitable. He's got a good car. And we've seen he's worked his way up from not qualifying in the 15th position. He qualified 15th with no time on the racetrack. Now he's running in second. So he has had a fast car, and he's been able to pass a lot of people.
Tell you what, Seth the Merchant slowly working his way up there as well. He's 2.6 seconds back. He was around 5 seconds here a couple laps ago. So he is trying to catch in on those guys as well. Doesn't sniff that draft yet, but you got to think most of these guys here in the top 5 are probably just saving a little bit, especially Rod Fag back there in 5th, just kind of hanging out. You know, he's in the draft. He probably can get closer if he wants to, but save those tires. We got about, under 20 laps to go at this point. So if you can hold on for a little bit longer, and we're real close to 10 to go. So if he can hold on for a couple more laps, save some, and we'll let the other guys race in front of him, he might have what it takes to get it done here today.
Yeah, it's just a couple laps difference between the 92 and the 71. So we'll see if that the tire strategy can kind of equalize with the 71 running. But here comes that run. He's got a little bit of momentum off of turn number 4, so he's going to close that gap from 0.3 to 2 now on the front straightaway. Lap number 51 closing in on 10 laps to go here at Auto Club. The 3 of Brandon Chaburko coming with him. He's going to use that bottom side of the racetrack. Got to be careful. See if you can hit that bottom side of the racetrack. You're going to be washing up the racetrack pretty quickly, but he keeps it under control. And the 7 of Rodney Wofford, he was leading here before that round of pit stops and just could not maintain the lead. And he's still got a sniff of that lead pack, but he's nowhere near in contention at the moment, but that could all change the final few laps.
Yeah, we got Rod Flags actually drifting back a little bit now, as I was talking about how he had good chances. But the front 4 guys still up there as the 71 trying to go for the lead. Oh! Closes the door. Casey Malone on the outside there. He's right there. He's ready to take that lead away, finally. Oh, he's going to get to the inside here off of 2. Oh, they bait and bang a little bit. Going to block high. Here comes Chaburko.
A little bit of wiggle from the 71. Here comes 3 to the outside. On turn number 3, he's going to back out of it. For him to get that run. That 71, though, he's going to have a good bit of momentum coming off the corner. Because, we got a caution here just at 10 laps to go.
All right, yeah, the caution there, unfortunately. Sorry, I was trying to take a look where it was. The 33 of Larry Camp, unfortunately, just got a little bit loose on his own going into turn 1 and tried to save it, hit the wall, and unfortunately went around, brought out the second caution on the night. Very close to tagging that 51 of Jason Altman's. But now the game has changed, very much so, as we'll see who comes down. Got about just under 10 laps to go once we get back to the flag stand here. We'll see who takes 2 tires, 4 tires. I mean, 4 tires are going to be the way to go, but if everybody barrels down there in turn 1 and creates a crash there, Gabe, 2 tires getting you out in front might be the way to go. So lots of decisions down there on pit road for these guys. So we'll see as that 92 is going to look like to either bring them down or be the sit and duck out there.
I'm looking for 4 tires all around in this entire field. Let's see what's going to happen. 92 ducks down. Everybody's going to follow him. Coming onto pit road. Watch your speed and also watch your entry into your pit stall. Everybody coming in. We're going to watch that 92 come into his pit stall. Let's see if any mistakes there. A slow crawl pit road from the 180, 170 they're running on the racetrack. Now, to the attention of their pit crew, 71 comes in. It's like a pretty clean entry into his stall. Let's see what the 92 can do as he turns to the right. Let's see what can happen. He slid it a little bit, but he parks perfectly in his pit stall, so he's going to jack up that right side of the car. They're going to move around to the left side. Let's see what's going to happen. Looks like Seth the Merchant's taking 2.
Seth the Merchant taking 2 tires. Shane McKeachin take 2 as well. Battle off pit road. Oh, man, everybody in close. Oh, those 3 just blocks out that 71 of Christian Peterson. They were inside each other there. I don't think that's supposed to happen, but that did happen there off of pit road as, wow, Christian lost a lot of spots there. 2 guys up front taking 2, and whew, he is going to be upset.
Riding around here under caution, the 92. It's going to lose a couple positions with the 32 of Seth the Merchant taking 2 tires on that stop. Also, Shane McKeachin in the 28 is also going to take him. So it's going to be 2 cars. I don't think that's going to be enough cars to kind of make that 2-tire strategy work.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. You know, if some of these guys in the back, especially now Christian Peterson back there a little bit, trying to dive bomb, get as much as he can there with up front. You know, we only got a couple laps to go. We'll probably have around 6, 7 laps once they go back green flag racing. So that's not a lot to get it done here. So he's going to probably be trying to, you know, get up there as fast as he can. He'll be coming from the 6th position on this restart after being second as they went in. Probably the person in the best spot, if they don't crash, is Casey Malone, leading the most laps, you know, throughout the night so far. Rodney Wofford real close as well, but Malone just has the truck that really hasn't been able to pass too much. The 7 got around one time, but since then he's really looked a little bit lackluster on the track. So that 92 of Malone, I look for him to get around those 2 front guys, Shane McKeachin and Seth the Merchant, if there's no incidents.
Should get the restart next time by, as the lights are going to go out atop the pace car, more than likely when they cross the start-finish line. If you're just joining us here on LSRTV, we're closing in on the finish here of the Roddcar Truck Tour at Auto Club. Seth the Merchant, your leader, Shane McKeachin, on 2 tires as well, so the top 2, your front row on those 2 Goodyear tires, or 2 new Goodyear tires, I should say. And the rest of the field running on 4. 92, Casey Malone was leading, and 70 of Rodney Wofford was leading earlier and then lost it after green flag pit stop. Brandon Chaburko been up there as well, as along with the 71 of Christian Peterson. So about 5 or 6 cars in contention for the win here tonight. The rest of what they're not out of it as well, because we've seen after the restart, it's very close racing coming. It's going to be a fight down coming to the checkers here in just a few laps. Looking for the lights to go out atop the pace car. Let's see what's going to happen. You should get it here as they cross the start-finish line. Lights are out, so we're going to go racing next time by here, lap 56. I believe it's going to be 5 laps to go, Josh. If my math is correct. It's going to be 6, looks like it. Looks like it's going to be 6 laps to go here. These guys doubling up for... I failed my math final, apparently, according to Cisco, but... the 28 and the 32 of Seth Merchant starting on your front row on 2 tires. Let's see what they can do. I don't really have high hopes for them, but that's why they're in the driver's seat and I'm in the broadcast booth. They should know a lot more than we do with tire strategy and everything. So I'm looking at that 32. He's a fast truck anyway. Should be pretty competitive.
I'll tell you what, that's the 32 of Seth Merchant's looking for that green, white, yellow, because if that happens, the race will be official, and if he can stay out front for those 2 laps, he will win tonight's race. So this is probably going to be our last caution, unless we have a wreck going in there to turn 1, then we may get a 1-lap shootout. But if we can just get around this track one time and make it to the start of the next one, it looks like it will be over. But these guys, it's going to be very interesting here, Gabe. We got 2 tires and 4 tires behind. That whole front row's 2. I don't know. It's cruising for a bruising here. We might be in for some interesting last couple laps.
And what Josh is alluding to, 5 laps to go. There are no green-white checkers, so with 5 laps to go, that is the minimum time for a caution on the map. So if we get a caution, that will end it. So a caution here on the lap. Here coming to the green. We'll get a one-lap shoot up, a green flag in the air here. Seth the Merchant. Let's see what him and the 28 can do there on the front row. He's going to run halfway on the apron, halfway on the racetrack. Let's see what's going to happen. He's losing a little bit of ground to the 28 of Shane McEachin. Let's see what's going to happen going into turn number 1. Full field screaming in behind them. Cars coming up to speed 3 wide behind them. There's going to be a couple of cars back there in the pack. 92 of Casey Malone to the back bumper of the 32 as they go down the back straightaway.
And I tell you what, the problem is that 32 and 28 are teammates. They're not going to try to let that 92 around. He is definitely faster as we're coming to that one crucial point where if they get past this, they are going to be yellow all the way. 7 gets into the wall a little bit there off the corner, and 92's got a great run. He's gotten around that 28. The 3 is also clear. It's going to come down to these last couple laps. Unfortunately, that 32 may be a sit and duck if something doesn't happen.
It's all no holds bar here till the finish. That 28 on old tires couldn't hold on the outside, and that backed up the 7 of Rodney Wolford, so he's out of contention for this win tonight. But the 92 of Casey Malone, he is in it, along with the 32 of Seth the Merchant. Let's see what's going to happen here going into turn number 3. As he dives it down. Oh, very aggressive, but he's not going to take the advantage, try and get there. That probably would have ended up with a caution and a wreck and a win for Brandon Chaburko, so they're pretty smart there. Rod Flag jumps down to the bottom and going to break the draft of that 28. He's going to get down to the apron trying to catch that 3 of Brandon Chaburko for third, but it's all single file back just outside the top 5 as it's like the 12. The first time we've mentioned him all night, really. 12 of Corey Henry to the inside of the 71 of Christian Peterson. Yeah, he was in that first wreck we had, so he's had a great recovery working his way around the old leader, the 71 of Christian Peterson, doing a good job.
I tell you what, those being up front may be the key here tonight. That 32 on 2 tires, that was a long green flag, yet those 2 tires holding it up there so far. And that 30, right
26 in the wall.
Hard. Oh, is that going to bring out the caution? No caution yet. It's coming to a halt. Oh, he's going down
to
pit road. Oh, wow, just very unfortunate there. Looks like he tried to come down and just caught the back of the 28 of Shane McEachin, but we're still green, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how, but that battle for lead is heating up.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little bit squirrely there off the corner and overcorrected and into the wall. Oh, God, we're 4 wide down the back straightaway. The 7, the 71, the 12, and the 28 as they go in there 3 wide in turn number 3. They're going to be stacked up there. They're a little bit staggered there. Here comes the 28 on old tires trying to make it 4 wide again. That 7 of Rodney Wolford down to the inside. That's Christian Peterson stuck in the middle. And the 12 of Corey Henry trying to break it into the top 5. 3 wide still. They've been 3 and 4 wide. But
Chaburko gets to the front. The 32 of Merchant around. That's caution. That's it.
It's over.
Oh, wow. Going down in the turn, we're going to have to see a caution or a replay on that one. But the 92 and 32 got into each other. The 3 as well. And I don't know what the 92 was doing. Just came right up into the 32 and just essentially gave the 3 the win. Unfortunately, the 32 couldn't save it. Got hard hit behind that into the 87 Ray Rittenauer. But that is going to be the end of your race. Brandon Chaburko, for the 2nd time this season, steals one away with the last couple of laps.
Getting the white flag this time by. They're going to form up behind the pace car. It's going to be Brandon Chaburko getting the win. Looks like, yeah, I'm with you. I don't really know what was happening with the 92 of Malone because he just kind of drifted up the racetrack. You would really think that was like an equipment failure on his part, but then he keeps going. So maybe he was just trying to pinch off the 32 on the outside, drift him up, and didn't see how close he was and just pulled up into him. Oh, the 28 spinning on the inside of the racetrack. He's tried to get slowed up for the rest of the pack, and he's going to spin it out. Let's hopefully he's going to catch the field by the time they get, because he was running in the top 5.
I don't know what Shane was doing there, but unfortunately, he might have looked down and taken a swig of a drink and then was like, oh man, I'm about to run into everybody. But he was able to woe it up and at least not hit anybody getting back around those guys there.
He's coming up through the field.
As Brandon Chaburko is thanking the rest of the field for getting him that win there. Wasn't the fastest, but got it done once again. A couple weeks ago, saw the 71 of Christian Peterson and Seth the Merchant crash in front of him to get the job done. So once again, the 3 coming down to victory lane.
Just a few days after the birthday of the Intimidator, Brandon Chaburko is going to bring that 3-machine GM Goodwrench Chevrolet to Victory Lane in the Roddcar Truck Tour at Atlanta.
Yep, here at Auto Club one more time.
Auto Club,
Brandon
where are we?
Chaburko
Auto
takes
Club.
the win. Gabe, unfortunately, at the wrong track. He's been watching the wrong track tonight, but Casey Malone brings it home. Second,
We're watching the B
Rodney
car, right?
Wofford. Third, and Christian Peterson fourth. So definitely a great run for those guys tonight as a little extracurricular activities there on the Speedway, but good night for everybody.
Oh, man. I thought I called a good race tonight until that point. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at Auto Club. Auto Club, not Atlanta. Oh, man. That was just a good race to the end. It's got my brain scrambled a little bit as we watch the 3. Brandon Chaburko bringing it around. Maybe looks like he's going to do some burnouts. Oh, he's wiggling it on the front straightaway. Going to pull a Carl Edwards donut, really, and just spin the car out. He's going to back it into victory. He's going to back it down the front straightaway. Going to burn him down here at Auto Club Speedway. We'll be right back here with Victory Lane coverage with him and the rest of your top 3 finishers. We'll be right back from Auto Club Speedway here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Since 2010, the highest echelon of sim racing competition has focused on NASCAR and Grand Prix racing. 50 of the best drivers in the world doing battle for championship glory. Each man for himself, and even though there may be teammates on track, each driver is in command of his own destiny. Until now. 2016 sees the start of a new era in World Championship competition, with team racing getting its chance in the spotlight. No longer can one driver rule supreme, but you must rely on those with whom you share a car, a setup, a strategy. Endurance racing can be very different to other forms of motorsports, with races in this series lasting either 3 or 6 hours. Teams of 2 or 3 drivers, perhaps on opposite sides of the world, will share seat time, each having to collectively work towards one common goal. Crash out, and it's not just you who you let down. Officially sanctioned by SRO, it will be teams of drivers who will go head to head, car to car, rival to rival, in the pursuit of a championship. And there's over $25,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. Some of the world's biggest sim racing teams are represented. There's also a group of teams who haven't seen this stage before, who want to make their mark and say we can hang with the best. The team racing revolution is here. It's loud, it's exciting, and it lives on iRacing Live, starting April 23rd.
Back here live at Auto Club Speedway, the conclusion of the Roddcar Truck Tour here in the beautiful sunny California, but we're here under the lights. Brandon Chaburko gets the victory. It's going to be Casey Malone coming in second after a huge wreck there on the last lap. Seth the Merchant and the 92 getting together there, coming to, I believe it was 3 to go. But that's going to shake up the running order just a little bit. The 70, Rodney Wofford, ends up coming home in that final podium position. Christian Peterson up front all night, comes home in 4th. Shane McEachin makes a 2-tire call work and ends up coming home in 5th. It's going to be Corey Henry in 6th. Kelly Dahl finishes in 7th. Tony Finn in the 8th spot. Derek Walker and Ramon Evans round out your top 10, and they're going to be your last cars on the lead lap.
From 1st to 11th, 2 laps down, Seth the Merchant finishes P11 tonight. Ray Ritner also caught up in that, finishes P12. Rod Flagg, a couple laps earlier, had some issues, P13. Larry Camp, Ryan Powell, and Mark Jorgensen Jr. finishes 16th. Sean Boundy, 17th. 18, Hedrick. Matt Quick able to get out there and run some laps. And Jason Altmans round out your top 20. He was also able to get out there the last couple laps as he was he was digging there, 3 wide on the backstretch there, Gabe. But Gabe is now down there in victory lane. I think he's caught up with your winner, Brandon Chaburko.
Down here in victory lane, I lost you for just a second. You're running around everywhere celebrating one of the most exciting victories we've seen at California Speedway. I'm here with Brandon Chaburko, or Chubbs as they like to call him, bringing that 3 machine to victory lane. Congratulations, Chaburko. That's got to be one of the better finishes you've been a part of.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun out there. I certainly felt like I wasn't the fastest. I felt like I was about a 3rd or 4th place truck tonight, but somehow we managed to get it done, and I really don't know how. I kind of thought that Seth was possibly going to wreck Casey earlier because he was pinching so hard, and then it finally wound up happening, getting into turn 1, and I just stayed low, and luckily I was able to avoid it.
Yeah, what was your view of that wreck there coming to a couple laps to go? That was a very odd incident. They just kind of got together on the front straightaway. What were you seeing from the cockpit?
Yeah, kind of what you said. I mean, I think Malone was coming up because, obviously you can't really enter the corner straight at a track like this, or you're going to be way too tight. And, Seth, I mean, it's the last couple laps, so obviously you got to pinch to have any chance of winning in his position. So I think it was just a hard racing deal.
All right, Brandon, you got the win a couple weeks ago. Now you got the win at Atlanta. It's got to feel good to get a couple of wins here. Gosh, every time I keep referring to Atlanta, it's Auto Club. We're here at Auto Club. My map is completely screwed up, but Brandon, forgive me forgive me. Brandon, you get the win at Auto Club here. Another win in the Roddcar Truck Tour. It's got to feel good to be a multiple-time winner in this series.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I always felt like, especially as of late, been better in this particular series than Cup. I ain't had too good of luck lately. Hopefully that'll change, but I always feel like I have a decent shot at winning every time I'm on the track in the truck series.
All right, Brandon, I know you got some sponsors on the hood of that 3 truck. Go ahead and thank them, and thank your teammates or anybody that helped you get it done.
Yeah, I got to thank Jay Riot for painting my car, Good Wrench for being on board as always, and you guys for broadcasting, and Rod Flagg for putting us on every week for us.
All right, that's Chubbs, Brandon Chaburko getting the win, and Josh, I believe you've caught up with our 2nd place runner-up here, Casey Malone in the 92.
Yeah, down here with Casey Malone on pit road here at Auto Club Speedway, and we saw a little bit of action there last couple laps. Saw a little conflict at the front, and unfortunately just come up just short there, Casey.
Yeah, we were close, but Seth and I got into each other, and it took both of us out of the win. So, but Chubbs got it, so it's all still good.
All still good down here on pit road with Casey Malone, and that 92 truck was definitely fast all night. We saw a couple pit stops. You were back a little bit, and then came back to the front there. But question on my mind was those 2 tires good enough to stay out front, or were you guys just holding back a little bit?
They seemed pretty decent, to be honest. I was surprised how well he was able to stay out in front. I heard on the radio that they were 4 wide behind us, so that's when I tried to get under Seth into 3, and I feel like if we could have kept going, we'd have been in a pretty good spot. But yeah, 2 tires seemed to work pretty good. I was surprised.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. We saw Jason Altman's there come from 45 laps down, going 4 wide on the backstretch there with the last couple laps to make it a little bit interesting. So that was one of your teammates, but tried to get it done for you there tonight. Unfortunately, just came up that short of your 4th win on the season. I'm sure we got a couple more races to go. Still have a chance. Still looking a little bit in the point series, a little bit behind Christian there, but still have a chance. Anything else on the night? Any sponsor shout-outs would you like to thank before we let you go there, Casey?
I'd like to thank Rod and all my friends, and Josh Ball and all my friends, and that'll do it.
All right, here we're down there with Casey Malone there for the 2nd place finish here at Auto Club Speedway tonight. And thank you again, Casey, and we will see you here later on here at Talladega Super Speedway. I think Gabe is trying to catch up with 3rd place finisher Rodney Wofford.
I caught up with him. He started 3rd and ends up finishing 3rd. Had a good car all night. Rodney, you end up taking it home in the final podium position. How would you grade your night?
Overall, that great night. Top 3 out of it from, running how we did. Had it up front there for a while and got shuffled out on that last restart and managed to do a little bit of dicing and get the podium. That's not bad.
Yeah, I was watching your car off that restart. You were coming there on the outside lane, and then the 28 of Shane McEachin just kind of couldn't hold it on the outside with those old tires, and it ended up pushing you back. You had to let off the gas and fall back in line. That had to be a little disheartening because I'm going to be completely honest, I counted you out to finish up front because you were running about 7th or 8th, but that's got to feel good to get back up there past a bunch of cars, and you said do some slicing and dicing and get up front.
Yeah, when that happened, it sucked. I was hoping to get in there and, maybe sneak up through the middle and work something out, but that's not what happened. It got a little too tight on me, too, and I had to just chase it and then kind of let it play out and then took it 4 wide there with 2 or 3 to go and kept it on the bottom. Somehow came through there, 4th, 3rd, I guess, and it worked out. That's a lot better than what it was, 7th or 8th.
Yeah, we thought we had an indicator for how the race was going to go there on lap number 1. We had the big wreck, and I know it was kind of in your rearview mirror just a bit, but you had to think, oh, well, this is going to be a caution fest all night. We ended up having a long green flag run, or 2 of them, and then having some green flag pit stops, so it was pretty good racing all night.
Yeah, it was. It was actually great racing. I screwed up there on my green flag pit a little bit. I didn't have my hotkey set up and got a little tap from Seth and just had a poor entry, so had to make up ground. Me and Christian there got back to whoever was leading at that time, and it was great racing. Caution early and a caution late for what we had, and it was all around really good racing.
Well, Rodney, any sponsor shout-outs, or as Casey Malone did, any friends you'd like to thank?
I got to thank you guys, LSRTV. Got to thank Mr. Rod Flagg, putting on the league. I want to say hi to Miss Bassini, Chris Bassini on the paint, and being up in the spotter stand there spotting. Give a shout-out to my dad, man. He's just a cool guy, and everybody over at Six Man, everyone else that makes it happen.
So Rodney Wofford in that 7 comes home in the final podium position. Good finish for him. And before we close out the broadcast tonight, Josh, I got to ask your final thoughts of the race.
Well, here, it was a great night here at Auto Club Speedway and not Atlanta. But, we had a great evening. Lots of fun racing out there. We saw a lot of green flag, and we saw a couple cautions that played into the end at the beginning of the race. So it was definitely a good bit of both there, Gabe.
Well, for us here at LSRTV and the Roddcar Truck Tour, we'd like to say thank you for joining us here at Auto Club, but the night is not over with as Josh Ball makes his way to Talladega to run the iSuper Speedway Series. We hope you'll do the same. So on behalf of Josh Ball, producer Cisco Scaramuza, I'm Gabriel Wood. Hopefully you'll join us live in just a few minutes here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of LSRTV LLC and iRacing.com Motorsport Simulations, and it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this event may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Live Sim Racing TV.